Hello, XRCoon42 here, and today I've got, from the second batch, KR Models Fell. I was excited when they announced the second batch of these. I missed out on the first batch. The first batch had a number of documented issues. Like, pretty much you can just tell from watching most of the reviews that these had issues with their pickups and a few other things. But anyway, let's get going. So, first off, they give us a little pamphlet on the class history, which, like, this is something I really like. I wish all the manufacturers would do this. Got a little guide to the DCC functions if you've got a DCC model. On the back side, you've got instructions for body removal. Now let's get straight in. There is a pack of accessories here. Looks like what you've got here. There's head codes, vacuum pipes, and then there's little molded screw-link couplings. I'll probably be fitting some of this later. I would like the screw links to have been, you know, fully articulating pieces, but you know, given that this model isn't terribly expensive, I can forgive that. Okay, let's get straight in. Not as glossy as I expected based on the other reviews I'd seen of the earlier ones. They must have toned it down a little bit. Anyway, there she is. The decoration is wonderful on this. The lining is all very precise. The British Railways Lake crest is wonderfully legible. If I can make my camera focus. The one thing I want to check out, in real life the engines were in either end under the bonnets. So let's take a look-see in front of this grille. It's a little bit difficult to pick out. But there is a molded fan behind there. Got lamp brackets all along the front. They all look pretty straight. Sprung buffers. The handrails on the top look and feel pretty good. Tiny bit of CAD detail in there. Not a huge amount. These handrails by the doors, they're separately fitted and they're fairly sturdy, but they don't feel like they're wire or anything. The grills, the molding is okay, but they don't look like they're etched or anything, which is something you kind of expect these days. All the roof furniture there. Running number on there, nice and crisp. And the same thing on the other end, more lamp brackets. Other grill. Got this little thing. I'm no expert on any of these. If we move down to the frame, we've got all the suspension springs. All this is just molded detail, it looks like. But it's on a die-cast chassis, so it's fairly sturdy. The steps feel pretty nice. The crank pins for the counterweights seem to have nicks in the paint a little bit. However, the counterweights are nicely painted. Those are going to look good going round. The bogies have a nice range of motion to them. Shouldn't be any issues with these. Yep. So the detail level, I'd say, is okay. Pretty much everything is represented on there that you could expect to be represented on a model of this thing. But not all of it is super high fidelity. It can be a little bit difficult to pick out some of it. A lot more molded parts than separately fitted. But pretty much everything is represented, and the decoration is top-notch. So let's get her down onto the track and see how she runs. And we are now trackside to check with the performance. Got her set forwards. I've already broken her in. There was a minor issue with one of the axles. I had to reset one of the counterweights because it was catching and causing her to lock up. Managed to get it set back into place though. Nothing super major. As you can see. Oh. Let's see, she does run. She's got directional lighting as well, which is really cool. I know that's pretty commonplace for a lot of diesels. God dang it, my wire's being weird. Hold on. Alright, I'm all good. One of the wires can come loose from my controller. As you can see, we're all good now. See, the performance is pretty good. Let's show off a crawl here. And there she goes. Nice thing about the counterweights is I can tell exactly how fast she's moving. Even when she's hardly moving at all. I'm going to hand it to this one. That's a fantastic slow speed right there. Look at that. That's beautiful. And test her the other way too. Ah, yes. Absolutely perfect in both directions. I swear I could shunt with this thing. Anyway, let's now get her coupled up to some rolling stock. I've got a small freight train set up. Did she couple up? Yes, she did. The first thing I can notice immediately here with her hole in the train now is that her torque is not the best. I have to turn her up a little bit more to get her running with a train than without. Which is like normal for that a little bit. Get a good shot of that cab lighting. She is a tiny bit noisy, but overall, very good runner. So, final ratings. Detail, I'm going to call a 3.5 out of 5. The decoration is flawless. Pretty much all the detail you would expect on a model of the Fel is here. But the cab detail is super basic, and a lot of the external details are molded and not super high fidelity. Like, if you look at that underframe, you can kind of tell there's some detail there, but it's all molded. There's not a lot of fidelity there. And the same is true for the roof furniture as well. Like, it's there, but the relief isn't super high on it. What separately fitted parts are there are done very well. There's no glue marks or anything. The running, I'd say, is a 4 out of 5. It can crawl pretty well. Slow speed is good. It's a good and smooth and consistent runner all around. They fixed the pickup issues that the previous batch had, so that is great. However, the torque is not super high. As you saw, it crawled really well without a load, but the moment I hooked a load up, I had to turn the dial a little bit higher in order to get it to really go. It's not like it slowed down once it was going or anything, but it struggles to get going. And it's also a tiny bit noisier than I think it should be. You may have heard that. The accessory rating, I give a 4 out of 5. One, because it doesn't have crew. A lot of models are coming with that these days. And other than that, it has pretty much everything. But like I said before, I think the screw link should be articulating pieces to get a higher score. Value for money, I'm going to call a 4 out of 5. For 150 pounds, this is not bad. It's not that expensive. For this size of engine, this is pretty decent. The performance is good. It's got a lot of the features you'd expect on a model like this, even though the detail isn't as good as it could be. Yeah, that'll be it for today. I've been XRCream42. Have a good one.